In this video, I'm going to try to show you how to get this here navigation control, I guess, command, whatever you want to call it, into the center console. You know, there's a lot of videos showing how to remove the actual center console, but this is the kind of part that gets complicated, is removing this actual command piece in here. As you can see, my hazard light switch broke, and in order to replace it, you have to get this whole new unit, or I guess you might be able to swap it, but I don't think so because it's wired directly into that wheel. So we're going to try to get this off and then put that new one in. There's a couple of clips on the bottom here. I'm going to show you how to do all that in just a second. Up next, with a T30, you might want to use something like this to get better leverage, because these are in pretty tight. You want to remove these screws right here. There's two of them on each side. Alright, next you want to remove this this piece right here. I have the console sitting on its the right way now. You want to just take a screwdriver or a knife or something, and all you got to do is pop it in there, and it pops straight up just like that. With that piece out of the way, you can see there's a screw down there. We'll go ahead and remove that as well. Now this piece right here pulls straight up. It does take some force. Just wiggle it around and then pull straight up to expose two more torque screws. Now with those torque screws out of the way, this whole piece should be able to lift right up out of its place there. All right, next, with the wood piece removed from the console, there's some wiring here you want to detach. And do you see these tabs right here? All you have to do is just push, and this should be able to slide right out. I can't do it with one hand, but all you have to do is push this, and then this will slide backwards. All right, with the wiring detached, you have 4 screws right here, 4 torque screws. You want to go ahead and remove those. So with those 4 screws out of the way, we're ready to remove the old unit, and we can now put the donor unit in. Just make sure you take the that little telephone, whatever it is, armrest, wrist rest, cord, and put it through that little hole right there, and then you can go ahead and screw that right back in there. Alright, next you want to connect these 2 wires back up, and I'm going to try to do this with one hand as usual, but no promises here. And I would wait to connect the other black wire, because you want to put this in, and it'll just be easier to connect it from the other side once you put these wires through that through the opening there. And then go ahead and put the wooden trim piece here. Of course, make sure all the buttons align, make sure you know, they all work. And these all work perfectly. And then you want to go ahead and set this back on top of the trim there. Of course, you might want to clean up whatever mess there might be. Alright, so once the wood piece trim is back on with the new command control, you want to go ahead and replace the 2 screws. We'll tighten those down in a minute, and replace the armrest. I didn't get a chance to show you this coming off, but I did show you how to get those 2 screws out. Basically, once I pulled the wooden piece out, it just kind of fell out on its own. So you just want to align those 2 holes right there. You'll see there's it's impossible to show right now, but there's a little insert that will align, and you'll be able to see it. But once you get those aligned, just go ahead and replace the torque screws that go in there, and you should be good from there. Alright, so with those screws torqued down, you want to go ahead and let the armrest down, and go ahead and replace the Torx bolt that goes into that piece right there. Alright, so next we want to go ahead and replace the trim here, and this just goes right on and then pushes straight down. Make sure it's well aligned before you push. With that in place, we want to go ahead and lower armrest down. We want to replace the plastic cover that goes here. Actually, we'll have to open the armrest up, and my bad. So we'll go ahead and open that up, and similar concept. You'll have to fit that in there. But let's see if I can do it from this angle here. Just be careful not to snap anything. There we go. And this should push straight down onto that. There we go. Clicks right in place just like that. Sorry, I don't know if you got to see that or not, but just push straight down. There's 4 points that it will click into. 2 right here, and there's 2 more in the back. Let's see if I can, come on, focus, right here. So those, make sure those are in place. Alright, so at this point you want to go ahead and hook up this wire here to this group right here, and it's in a similar fashion. You just pull it right through there and it clicks in place. Alright, next you want to take your scroll wheel and go ahead and place it up on your on the command scroll thing. And you want to go ahead and tighten the screw down, and then after you tighten that down, the cap just snaps right up on top of it. Alright, and at this point you are ready for reassembly. I'm sure you guys know how to hook this up. You just you set it on there. There's 1 Torx screw that goes on there, and you just pop the telephone face, I guess you want to say, the number pad back in. And since there's already plenty of videos on how to remove this thing and put it back in, I'm not gonna do that, just to kind of save some time, because I'm not gonna be able to do that one-handed. So since there's absolutely no videos that I could find on how to do this, I figured I would share it with you guys, because I know the frustration of trying to take one of these things apart and just not have any idea of how to do it or where to even start. So I hope this kind of helps you guys out, and thanks for watching. And I forgot to mention, there's one more super critical step once you're done with the whole procedure of putting the dashboard in. Take this fucking pop and dump it. Because that's the reason why you're having that problem in the first place.